Let us take you on a journey,
if we may,
about people you know
and the stories they haven't told.
If you really knew me, you know that I lived in 7 different countries.
If you really knew me, you would know that I learned how to ride a unicycle via YouTube.
If you really knew me, you'd know that I'm dyslexic and can't spell the word patience for my life.
If you really knew me, you'd know I was an Eagle Scout.
If you really knew me, you would know that I could balance 20 books on my head.
If you really knew me, you'd know that I was born in New Zealand.
If you really knew me, you would know that my dad's battling colon cancer right now.
If you really knew me, you would know I hate chocolate chips.
If you really knew me, you'd know I'd have 3 nieces and a nephew.
If you really knew me, you would know that I have been around the world scuba diving.
If you really knew me, you knew that I'm pretty insecure about myself.
If you really knew me, you'd know I'm deaf in 1 ear.
If you really knew me, you know that I moved 7 times in 4 different states.
If you really knew me, you would know that I know how to make friends.
If you really knew me, you would know that I'm bullied for things I'm not able to do.
If you really knew me, you would know that my dad was an alcoholic.
If you really knew me, you would know that I don't like watermelon and I can't twerk.
If you really knew me, you'd know that every basketball ref in the state of California dreads seeing me in the stands.
If you really knew me, I almost drowned in a 4-foot pool and I'm like 5'6".
If you really knew me, you would know that I'm more outgoing than what I look like.
If you really knew me, you'd know my best friend died in my 5th grade summer.
If you really knew me, you would know that I was bullied throughout elementary school and middle school. If you really knew me, you know that I get really attached to people, and one of my biggest fears is actually losing friendships and people.
If you really knew me, I have been mugged before, and it has inspired me to pick my career.
If you really knew me, you know that I've dedicated my life to joining the Marines.
If you really knew me, you'd know I don't like pancakes.
If you really knew me, you know that my dad fought cancer and beat it.
If you really knew me, you know that my little brother passed away.
If you knew me, you'd know that my brother's got a form of Asperger's.
If you really knew me, you'd know that I'm a huge comic book nerd.
If you really knew me, you'd know I'm a germaphobe.
If you knew me, I'm a High School Musical freak.
If you really knew me, you'd know that growing up was very hard for me because I was bullied most of my elementary school years.
If you really knew me, you would know that I can tumble.
If you really knew me, you would know that I once actually tried to take my life.
If you really knew me, you would know that I dated a guy 3 times just because I like to play with his dogs.
If you really knew me, you would know I ride short horses.
If you really knew me, you would know I love playing the saxophone.
If you really knew me, you know that I love to go fly fishing.
If you really knew me, you'd know that I'm uncomfortable around new people.